Good morning, everybody. February the 29th, 2016, leap month, leap year. We wonder if that'll impact the markets like the full moon does. I doubt it. Probably the impact we'll see because it is the end of the month is a hesitancy for large institutions to sell. Okay, today officially the June contract goes front for the 30-year, tomorrow for the 10-year. I rolled both my contracts to June. I don't think that'll cause any problems for the 30-year, obviously, nor for the 10. So be aware of that. We do have some news. Chicago PMI at 52.9. Pending home sales plus 0.5%. Housing numbers have come in stronger of late than forecast, and then Dallas Fed at -30. Texas has just been clobbered on this oil deal. So the focus will be Chicago PMI, pending home sales, and direction of the E-mini. And it's pointed lower right now. Stock markets, all equity markets sold around the globe. China devalued its yuan once again and cut the bank reserve requirements by, I think, 50 basis points, percentage required reserves. Their stock market promptly sold. So we're in a situation right now. Have the central banks finally reached the law of diminishing returns, where what they do just really doesn't matter? And we'll have probably our best read on that when the European Central Bank acts, I believe, maybe not this week, but next week, no later than next week, with their official interest rate, which is now negative. They have a negative interest rate policy, and with their quantitative easing program, which the market expects Draghi to do what he said he was going to do, that they would make major moves come March. They punted in January when everybody expected to do it, but all their comments and rhetoric were on what was coming in March. So Draghi's kind of in an interesting position. If he follows through and increases quantitative easing and a negative interest rate program, and the market does nothing, he's in trouble. If he does all of that and the markets don't rally, he's in trouble. And my guess is that the central banks probably have realized that they probably are at the end of the rope. So it's going to be interesting to see the impact of the European central banks move, and that's probably the biggest piece of news we're going to have as far as central bank intervention goes for this month. If the E-mini sells today, I believe treasuries can rally. If the E-mini holds its own and starts to trade up, I believe treasuries will sell. So we got our first sell at 19 to 23, then 27 to 31 for sell 2. On the buy side, fairly aggressive, this 8 to 12 area. And then basically 1 to 5 for buy 2. And we'll see if that actually transpires and plays out. Right now the market is trying to sell. Boy, the weather has been delightful, although it's too warm for this time of year, and we get a lot of winds associated with it. But it was 70 yesterday. It's supposed to be in the low 70s today, and then cool down a little bit. But no one's complaining. Okay, looking at structurally on this chart, we've got this little 2-letter ledge. Basically, 165 is resistance, and it jumps up. We've got an open gap. June to the March contract, but we do have an open gap between these two, and it tends to converge over the course of a week. So we've got buyers against 164 and we've got sellers against 165, and we're currently at 16. So 27 to 31, sell 1. 7 to 11, if we get through 165, sell 2. On the buy side, 5 to 9, buy 1. And then we'll make it 25 to 29 because this contract does have some volatility. But convergence to March prices is a factor, and it does add support to the June contract, even though if the market does sell, it will sell too. You'll see more selling in March than you will in June. The play has been, after last week's rally, has been in puts. And that's the way the large institutions tend to hedge themselves these days. Everything's built in, the cost of the puts built in for their hedging, and when things get, if they've seen a big rally like we have over the last week, the tendency is to buy puts and take profits on the calls that you put on before the market rallied. Okay, looking at gold. It's rallied. You can see that we've rejected prices. Again, definitely below 18. And based on where the last rotate down in Globex was 24. So we've got support at 25. That's going to be the first band up for support. So 26, 24, buy 1. Then 18 to 20 will be buy 2. On the sell side, 34, 36, it's where resistance is. And then 39 to 41 for sell 2. It is Monday. It is the end of the month. The tendency is for equities not to catch heavy selling. And if that is the case, we'll probably see gold in a trading range once again with an up bias. Okay, Draghi. There'll be all sorts of speculation until he makes the move, and I don't know if it's this Thursday or the following Thursday. But Draghi really stuck his neck out as far as, trust me, something big is coming in March. And of course the issue is going to be, does anything a central bank do anymore impact the markets or impact the trading? Okay, the high came in London, and we're selling. So our 108.50 is within reach. So our first buy is going to be 75. This high volume number right down here. But you can see that we have this high volume area that starts at basically at 80, 88, 89, all the way down to 75, 74. On the sell side, we spilled from 109.15. Obviously 109 even is a round number. So 109 even to 109.10, sell 1. Last rotate up in London, then we'll make 25 to 35, pick up the last rotate in London. Do like the short side of the market. I'll be buying 108.75s and 108.50s. Anything that Draghi does will probably take the euro lower. And I think you can see people positioning for that. Okay, which way is crude oil going to go? At these low prices, you always get buy of the century type articles. You know, it's come down so far. Lost 70% of its value. May not be able to pick the bottom, but you're probably pretty close for patient money. And they probably aren't too far from wrong on that. Middle East, Iran is reportedly last week took some of that money that has just been released to them and pumped up Hezbollah by funding their terrorist activities against Israel. So they've got the money, they certainly have the will, and there's no need to believe that they're not going to engage in mischief. Supposedly Iran has taken a moderate turn because the elections that were just held, nothing but moderate candidates were elected. But what people don't understand is no candidate's name gets on that ballot without the approval of the Ayatollah, the ruling group. And while they can point to moderates being elected and taking the easy road and the quiet road, when the rubber meets the road, the hardliners usually prevail. So I wouldn't. The doves haven't started flying out of Iran. There will not be new peace initiatives, in my opinion. Okay, we have a P. This breakout level essentially held in the 3250 area. It tends to move in $1.50. So 32.28, that takes us up to 33.75. I think we can go a little higher right here. So 33.25, 33.50, sell 1. 33.75, 34, sell 2. On the buy side, 32.50, 32.25, buy 1. Then 31.50, 31.75, buy 2. Okay, end of the month for the E-mini. Typically, you wouldn't anticipate any selling. The rest of the stock markets around the globe are down. Friday's market was off a little bit. The Dow was off 57 points. So you could say, well, the rest of the world sold. Follow through selling from what the United States did. Hard to say. Probably pretty good selling at 50, and I would guess there's probably pretty good buying at 25. So when we come back and take a look at the monthly chart, you can see that as far as February goes compared to January, on January we had a close in the looks like in the 1925 area. A close above 1925 for February would tend to make everybody happy, and that's within reach. We've got this spill from 85, but we definitely have sellers at 85, and they 70 to 85, and it looks like we've got pretty good buying below 18.25, and a close today above 1925 would make the institutions happy. So my guess is we probably have sellers at 50, and we're probably going to have buyers at 25. So buy 1 will be 25 to 30. Buy 2 will be 15 to 20. On the sell side, 50 to 55, sell 1. And then 60 to 65, sell 2. Chicago PMI 52.9. That's the automobile industry for the most part, and automobile sales have been great. Pending home sales +0.5. Dallas Fed -30. Texas is already written off, so I doubt if that has much impact. And it'll take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get on that and I'll be back with you as soon as possible.